I'm Marotta, and welcome to Big East Women's Basketball Rewind, where I take you through what happened in conference play this week. Let's start off with one of the hottest teams in the league in the Creighton Blue Jays, who went 2-0 in the week and are on a 4-game win streak. They went on to beat Georgetown and Marquette this week with big-time freshman performances. Starting with their game versus Georgetown, Creighton won a 64-62 big-time performance from freshman Nellie Gezer, who finished with 31 points, including 5 three-pointers. The Blue Jays shot 44% from beyond the arc and knocked down 11 three-pointers. Creighton then plays Marquette at home. It's on at this one. It's a big game. It's hyped up, and Marquette comes out and has a great first 3 quarters. And then in that fourth quarter, Creighton started to turn up the pressure. They turned over Marquette and they executed offensively. Another freshman standout, Ava Zedeker, had 25 points, 6 rebounds, and 6 assists, but Grace Buffelli, the senior, did it inside the paint. In that fourth quarter, she was a huge reason for the comeback. Buffelli finished with 23 points and 14 rebounds. A large focus for Creighton in this game was getting points in the paint. They did that very well, beating Marquette 44-36 inside the arc. Creighton and their young team are really starting to come together, learning how to win in the Big East. St. John's, another team who had a strong week in the Big East. Their first game was versus Xavier. St. John's had 4 players in double figures, and Beautiful Wahid and Brooke Moore led the way with 14 points. Something St. John's is doing so well this year is getting to the free throw line. They are driving downhill, getting their shoulder into the defender, and creating easy buckets at the line. They shot 17 free throws and 82% against Xavier. St. John's then played Seton Hall, an exciting matchup in the Big East. Everyone wants to see what this game is all about. They played at St. John's and got the win in large part because of Samaya Wyatt, who had 20 points. The Johnnies pulled out this game, finishing 67-61. They shot at 50% from the field. They also dominated the glass with a 42-23 advantage on the Pirates. It was a great week for St. John's. They got to keep it rolling coming into next. The number 1 team in the nation remains number 1 with another perfect week in the Big East. They first started off versus DePaul, where AZ Fudd went off, scoring 25 points, continuing to be efficient from the three-point line, going 4 of 6 from the 3. DePaul only shot at 28% from the field and had a ton of contested 2s. The starting 5 all had 2 or more assists on the game. KK Arnold led the way with 6, and Sarah Strong had 5 for herself. UConn also beat Butler this week. AZ Fudd leading the way yet again with 17 points in just 23 minutes of play. She is so efficient from outside and inside the arc. UConn moves to 25-0 this year, a perfect season so far. Villanova excelling this week. They had a win over Butler and Georgetown. Jasmine Boscal with 27 points versus Butler, being the absolute playmaker that she is. She also had 5 assists on the night as well. Nova rebounded the ball very well, having 11 offensive rebounds and limiting the turnovers to just 6 total turnovers. Nova then followed up with a big win versus Georgetown, 67-55. Yet again, Jasmine Boscal led the way with 19 points in this game, but Danae Carter delivered 6 assists as a forward, an impressive game for Carter. Villanova had 10 more assists than Georgetown and 7 fewer turnovers, a very efficient game for Villanova's offense. They also doubled Georgetown's points in the paint. Villanova remains second in the Big East. Marquette was on a 5-game win streak before losing to Creighton. One of those wins was against Providence at home, where Skylar Forbes had a big performance, finishing with 22 points, and Hallie Bice continuing with another double-double, just dominating in that category this year, leading the Big East in double-doubles. Lee Volker had a terrific offensive game, playing inside and outside, and finished with 19 points. Providence did have a chance to get a win against Xavier this week. After a little quiet game versus Marquette, Sabu Gay came out to play. She had 29 points and 9 rebounds versus Xavier. All but 3 points were inside the paint, using her explosiveness and her athleticism to get downhill. Providence also had 13 steals and 20 points off turnovers. Another great week for women's Big East basketball. I'll be back next week for more.